friends, buckle up and get ready to share your stories because today we're going to have a Christmassy theme, I guess, on false advertising. But anyways, what up? Welcome to False Advertising, the show that aims to dispel your misconceptions about everyday society. I'm Labrie, and joining me is my co-host, the ever-silent Donovan. Today we're going to be talking about Christmas, the good, the bad, the ridiculous, and I would love to hear some of your cool stories. In fact, fun things that happened in the news for Christmas is someone in Toronto decided to fire shotgun rounds at someone's front door for 3 minutes and then leave. I don't know who has that kind of time on Christmas morning, but someone really liked their present, I guess.
I didn't. Am I allowed to be on silent now?
Yeah, no. I honestly thought you were going to be like loud and object to that. But
No.
Then you just kept going and I was like, perfect.
No.
I was like, oh great, this is
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Talk.
Homie just Google Maps where Santa lives, I guess. Dude got the wrong color underwear or socks for Christmas. And then he's just like, where does Santa live? Pulled
And
up with a 12 gauge and said, fuck your door, I guess. Like,
That's
scary.
Yeah, that's actually pretty funny.
Very scary.
In other news, I think it's really funny that most Christmas, like in general, people always find it as like the perfect excuse to go rob places. Like, there's always a couple heists or robberies that happen on Christmas. It's like, oh, everyone's home. I think I'm going to just pick up my presents super late and just raid a Best Buy. Like, I really wonder who decides to, like, do that during the holiday season. Because, like, this is supposed to be the time when people are the nicest, you would think. Right? Because the weather sucks. Yeah, and then, let's just go rob coffee shops or corner stores. And, like, yeah, damn. That's just that's a whole thing. I think
I don't. Go ahead.
I think I hear that there's like at least several robberies or like I guess heists that go on every Christmas, and I'm always just like, who is the person that like left before Christmas dinner to go do that? It's like, I'll be back in a couple hours, Mom. I gotta go pick up your presents.
Yeah, it's just wild. I guess it's just like anybody, right? People look for any excuse, right? Like any excuse to take advantage, or like any opportunity and stuff like that. That's all the shit of like casing the joints. I guess like for like commercial robberies and stuff, it makes sense. Because what security? I mean, there's still going to be security guards getting paid like double time, but like for the most part, everyone's at home.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it's perfect opportunity.
Everyone else. Perfect opportunity. There's always going to be somebody willing to take that.
What I think is funny is like, just sorry, I lost my train of thought. That never happens. I was like reading chat.
Never?
No, not like every damn episode.
There it goes. The thought has left the station. Goodbye. Bust it down. You good?
Yeah, no, it's...
You're good.
I'm great. I'm sure it'll come back to me later. Anyways, I wanted to get into the everyday stuff because I feel like gifts are pretty synonymous with the holiday spirit. Even if people don't celebrate Christmas, I think just like the idea of the gift exchange has kind of become, outside of just the holiday itself. So let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ridiculous. What did you get for Christmas this year?
What did I get for Christmas this year? Oh boy. I'm actually going to find out later. A lot of my gifts are coming from, the only person who's really getting it, all of my friends, we basically just kind of agreed, like, gifts are stupid. So like I pitched in with some of my friends. We bought one of our buddies, Cyberpunk. Basically it's just kind of been like everybody for us and like my friend group, we all kind of picked games we were interested in vaguely. And then we just kind of like everybody bought them for each other so we could play them together. Or like whatever somebody was super into. Like Cyberpunk was a big surprise for one of my friends, but like other than that, there's like, oh, this $8 indie game, somebody just bought it for everyone. So that's kind of what most of Christmas was this year, is just excuses to play games and random stuff together.
Nice. What about with the family?
Yeah. Family, it was just homemade stuff. My mom cooked. My mom crocheted some stuff for us. I made cards. I do origami stuff every year usually, so I just did some like origami like ornaments and stuff like that, origami flowers. There's that kind of cool stuff. I did a lot of like for my girlfriend, I did a lot of like homemade stuff as well. We just did very like practical gifts. Like she needed like a hairbrush and hair ties and random stuff. So there was like 6 or 7 random like stocking stuffers that were just wrapped in small boxes just for the excuse to have something there. It's kind of very practical gifts. And then I had like a custom made tote bag that I made for her with some fan art from a game that we both been playing. So that was kind of like the big homemade gift present that we did this year. And then, yeah, I'm going to find out what my present is on the 30th. So I'll have to get back to you on that one.
I find every year I struggle to decide because I think there's 2 kind of trains of thought that happen when people buy gifts. You have the gifts that are super sentimental and people will remember them forever, but you know, it'll probably collect dust. And the other is that they're very practical. And so it's like, oh, yo, I actually love getting socks and underwear for Christmas because like it's just great. And so I don't buy a lot of gifts, and like most of the time I buy it for like the immediate family, and then I'll buy something for with my extended family. We have like a big secret Santa, so then that way we don't have to spend like our net worth every year, which is nice. But every year I try to one up myself, where it's like, where can I walk the line of something you will use probably more than once, or you know, like you'll check back on it, but also it'll have meaning to you. So for instance, like this year I bought my mother like a Guess handbag because, you know, it like if she goes to the grocery store or whatever, it's just like, it's going to be that much more of an event for her to go out and do something if she has like a nice handbag, because none of us are really doing anything right now, right? So like, I thought that was cool, and it's just like a nice way to make you feel like you're dressing up and going somewhere. But then every year it's like, how the fuck do I do better? Because like, yeah, now I've trapped myself into a corner where it's like, shit, do I need to buy like
Gucci
Burberry,
watch,
right? Some shit like that next
Burberry
year.
Scarf next year. Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm worried about that. But so far, we've been able to one up myself every year. Have you ever gotten any ridiculous presents like that are just like absurd?
Oh boy. Oh yeah, I have. I have a lot of good stories from when I was living on uni res with my roommates. We did Secret Santa every year, or I guess for the two years, 3. Yeah, the 3rd year, my roommate moved away. So anyway, we did Secret Santa for 2 of the 3 years that we all lived together. And then both of those were like kind of interesting times. There's just a lot of ridiculous Christmas presents.
Yeah.
In that friend group. It was a very interesting group of young gentlemen that I decided to live with. Love them all to death. I say interesting. They're actually all like outstanding. I love them all. We had our what did I get the first year? Great story about the first year. The guy that was supposed to give me the gift, for some I think he like thought the price limit was like $2 or like $5. Like he thought our price limit was $2 instead of 20.
Oh damn.
And so like I literally got like some like dollar store chocolate and like a handwritten card, and it was like the funniest shit ever. And he was like, oh shit, and then like last minute he had to like go and find something. He ended up with like, actually there's like a Charmander plush on my shelf that's still there, but that was what he ended up getting like last minute, because he's like, fuck. But that was a funny one of just ridiculous story. He was like, you mean we were supposed to spend 20? And I was like, who the fuck has a $2 Secret Santa? What the fuck were you smoking? But that was a good one. The follow up to that was quite certainly better was the following year. One of my friends got me this. He got me one of those, like, you know, the mouse pads with the butt cheeks that you use for the wrist rest. I got one of those with Diva on it, because he's like, oh, you like Overwatch, don't you? So he bought me one of those mouse pads.
Yeah,
one of those like etchy mouse pads. So that was a very tasteful, stylish gift. I unfortunately, due to the way that I play games, I couldn't even use it. Like, not that I particularly wanted to anyway.
Mhm.
But even if I was going, like, it actually had zero value because I couldn't even use it if I wanted to. That
Damn.
was probably the most ridiculous. How about you? How about you?
So
I'm sure
like
you wrote this down with something in mind.
yeah, this doesn't happen to me personally a lot, but what's really funny is like my dad goes the route of being super practical. Like I don't care if you asked for it or wanted it, you're gonna use this. And so like he's gotten people over the years like vacuum cleaners and microwaves and shit like that. And like the avocado meme hit home for me so well because every time like I would watch him pick a gift, it was like, oh, this was thoughtful and it's useful, but it's like, thanks, a vacuum. I love it.
Yep. Oh yeah, we did that. No, literally, like I think basically all of the month of December, everything that my girlfriend's parents Amazon Prime to their house, they just wrapped and put under the tree.
Yeah,
So like we unwrapped bed sheets, we unwrapped shower curtains, we unwrapped like one of those mats you put down like on to keep you from slipping in the bathtub. The vacuum cleaner. It was a
yeah.
good time.
Man, this year was definitely an Amazon Christmas. I think a lot of people definitely bought most, or if not all, of their gifts on Amazon. I tried to go out and support local, so like I went out and I went to the local comic shop and picked up like a couple really good, like memorable Spider-Man graphic novels that like my little brother will probably read more than once, which were good. And like,
Nice.
of course, you know, if he gets sick of them, I'm sure everyone else will take them off his shelf. So that was cool. But yeah, it's really hard, and especially like after the fact that we had lockdown for Boxing Day, it's like how do you really support local these days?
Yep. I have no idea.
Things.
It was very sad. Stop buying things for a couple weeks, I guess. Unlucky.
Yeah, just spend your time playing tic tac toe with yourself. Eventually, you
Yeah.
will win. I guarantee that. So Christmas trends and traditions. Like I, what are like the things that you notice that people do? I thought it was really weird, when like the ugly sweater thing became big. I don't own any, but over the years,
Frickin' millennials.
right? And it's like it's funny though because I think it's come for full circle where it was lame and the millennials just like made it extra like it's the thing now and it became
It's
lame
fucking
again.
Seinfeld, bro. I'm pretty sure it was Seinfeld. Wasn't there like the Seinfeld episode and everybody's like, damn, Jerry Seinfeld did it.
I have no idea.
Let's go.
I don't.
I feel like there was I can't remember either. I wasn't a huge Seinfeld person either, but I feel like that happened. Seinfeld said a lot of I just remember reading this like meme or something where like a lot of millennial stuff is influenced by Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
And just like a lot of those like cartoons of the era, which is funny, right? It's like the same shit. All of my Zoomer shit, all of my like dumb Zoomer memes are going to be influenced by Twitch and Instagram.
Yeah, I also think
But
that we run through trends like so quickly these days, right? Like memes and just culture in general, like kind of shifts really quickly. Where I think things took like a long time before to catch on and become a fad and then die. Just we're gonna see like a quick cycling of that. But do you guys have any
yeah.
like personal traditions or like things that you do at home for Christmas that you think are kind of quirky and cool?
My girlfriend's family watches It's a Wonderful Life every Christmas.
I don't think
I
I've
don't know if you
ever
know. It's like
actually
a
seen it. I know about it.
yeah. It's the 1940s Christmas film. What a timeless movie. I had never seen it before either. I watched it with them for the first time this Christmas. Yeah, that movie's iconic. That's the like I guess for context, that's the movie where like that the whole like trope of like, oh, I wish I'd never been born comes from, and then the
Wow.
angel like basically shows him what life would be like if he was never actually born, and like shows him all the people he impacted and like how different the world would be. That's where that comes from. That's what the movie is like.
Damn.
Yeah. So like it's like a 1940s. I don't remember any of the actors' names, but he's a really good actor, and that movie is actually timeless. Like I watched it. And like some scenes read like modern day shit posts. Like I'm not gonna lie, like the comedy in that, some of it is so funny. Like the comedic timing and stuff. Like it kind of blew my mind. Like wow, what a great film.
Maybe I'll have to go watch it. Is that the one where the kid like gets a gun for Christmas or something?
No, it's nothing like that. It's very like straightforward, I guess, as a film. But yeah,
Cool. Yeah, I also think what's funny is like what people watch for the Christmas holidays kind of tells you a lot about them as a person. Like, you know, if you watch It's a Wonderful Life, you know, it's probably super wholesome. Whereas if you watch like Die Hard, you're probably just, yeah, it's Christmas, but I'll do it my way. And then I find like there's always the people that watch The Grinch every year, and those people tend to be like, I'm over Christmas, but at least like the grumpiness will keep me happy. I don't personally watch like Christmas movies every year, but I would say that like my favorite Christmas movie is The Polar Express, which is weird because that only came out, I want to say, like 12 years ago. But I think that is like the best for me of capturing like that childhood magic and just saying, oh, you know, like, there's still an element of it around. Do you watch any Christmas movies? Like yearly?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No, not really. I used to do Christmas plays at my church every year when I was younger. Like every year, basically, from like, I feel like that's probably why I got into acting from like as old as I was, from when I was like as old or old enough to like walk and talk and be coherent and take instructions. I was in Christmas plays all the way up until like high school. And then they like stopped for a couple of years. I don't remember if it was funny or whatever, but basically like for a couple of years they just did like musical stuff. I couldn't actually sing or do anything, so usually I was just there, or dance at the time. I did like no dance and no singing, so literally I was just there to like do lines every once in a while and be in the choreo or the chorus, but then like just lip sync all the music and kind of hide behind people when you had to dance. It's just a good time. I don't really know why I was there, but I liked acting and it was fun. So that was like most of the like many years of the closest thing to Christmas movie. It's funny you mentioned the Polar Express though. I love the like, have you ever seen, there's like that great meme that's like, when I was younger I thought this is just what British people looked like this is what I thought people in Europe looked like. Just that's the animation style is just what European people look like. And it's like somebody told us like when they were a kid, they're like, this is what life is like in Europe. Just this. This is just a live action film in Europe.
Damn.
And then the second thing I have to ask, have you seen the Tokyo Drift Polar Express edition?
No? Is that a thing?
I know this will not translate to podcast, but everyone should look up the Tokyo Drift or like the Polar Express Tokyo Drift crossover. And it's
like
quite possible.
Like there's the train scene, right?
Yeah. It's just the train scene with Tokyo Drift played over it, and it's just the edit with like the beats and stuff. It's just the conductor switching, like pulling on the chain and like using the shit with the Tokyo Drift soundtrack. Yeah, and it's quite possibly one of the best pieces of video production I've ever seen.
Never in my life have I seen anyone else drift a fucking train.
It's so good.
Yeah, that scene was absurd, but I love that, and the fact that that's a meme means I will most definitely check that out. That'll probably be posted in the Discord too, so feel free to go check that out later. Going back to your Showtime experience, I think it's funny that I think Donovan could most definitely have a movie or like a show placed around his theater experience where he dodges being the main character, but you know, enjoys being part of the show. It's like, I don't want to sing, I don't want to dance, but I'll hide in the background and occasionally deliver a good line because I'm here for the art.
Yeah.
Man,
those are good times. I love acting. I do not like musicals. I mean, I love musicals. I do not like being in musicals. I should rephrase. But yeah.
So there's this thing that I was thinking about a lot because I do enjoy Christmas, but like when I think about it, it's not that different from Thanksgiving. In like, I would almost want to make the argument that Christmas is a better Thanksgiving, right? Like the food is essentially the same, the holiday is extended, and you get presents. Like,
yeah.
Like, am I wrong?
No, that's a yeah.
like it. I almost feel like you know, October, November is just kind of like the pregame for Christmas. You know, it's like gotta
get your game face on.
That's right.
We get your Thanksgiving spending, then we get your Halloween spending, and then you have to spend for Christmas anyway. Slap. What do you think? No, Black Friday's in November.
Oh man. What's crazy is like what we've seen is like Christmas as like its own industry has kind of become more and more a thing over the years where like first it was the fact that I don't think this was for like everyone, but definitely for me, I started to associate with like choir Christmas music just becoming like synonymous with department stores. And now it's like, yeah,
Ah,
but also we have like Black Friday on top of Boxing Day, right? And now it's starting to become like we have like winter sales, and like even the music industry itself has changed its attitude towards Christmas, right? Where like the reason that every artist wants a Christmas album to do well is because that's residual income for them, right? Like there's
mm,
that meme that like it's the time of year for Mariah Carey to go back into the ocean and then come back next December, right? Like it's so true.
yeah.
Someone did the statistics, and I think she makes like at least 100 grand every December off of that one song.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was more, to be honest with you. Like,
Yeah, that was from Spotify alone,
nice.
right? Like
Good
imagine
shit.
like the YouTube and like Christmas ads, and like dude, imagine releasing one song that just makes more money every year than your average person. that's that's insane.
Hey, man. Peaked as an artist.
Yeah. I
Goddamn.
mean like what is her other like most notable hit?
I don't even know another Mariah Carey song. I literally know no music that she's made other than that. And the only reason I know her name is because of that song.
That's funny.
I mean, I'm also probably not the best person to be asking about
Yeah, but
music.
like I feel like, you just kind of understand in general like what people know. You're a good kind of regular chart for pop. For sure. Obsessed is probably, I think,
K-pop.
this the most notable second one. But yeah, in terms of like random pop stuff, I think you would probably know as much as like your average person.
I think I've definitely, since quarantine started, that has dropped tremendously. The only reason that was vaguely true is I used to like, well, I used to frequently go out with you, which meant I was just in clubs and places that play music that was on the charts, which meant I knew what was on the charts at the time. I don't
Fair.
remember the last time I've actually played anything that's on a top. Like my Discover Weekly every week just descends further and further into chaos. Like it's actually kind of bad. I'm like a third of my music is literally some SoundCloud rap shit at this point. Like I'm so fucking indie that Spotify doesn't even know what it wants. Like it's running out of shit to show me on my Discover Weekly. And like half the stuff is literally just this some dude opened up Audacity, recorded himself with his iPhone, and then just pasted the beat over top. Like it's unmastered and like I'm like, it's not that bad. It's one step above the literal SoundCloud rap trash because otherwise it wouldn't have gotten onto Spotify. But
Yeah.
it's like not amazing. I was like, man, I'm on this corner of Spotify now.
Next week,
Oh, yeah.
Donovan's gonna be listening to ASMR over lo-fi hip hop beats.
Yeah, probably. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. We're almost there. Do you know how funny it is? But I had 6 songs that were like popular lo-fi songs that I already know with just some rapper like doing a thing over top of it. Just in my Discover Weekly, I had 6 songs.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, like all of like the super big like popular lo-fi tracks that everyone knows, like all the
Yeah.
like what is it, like Sad Boy with a Laptop and all of like those people, and it's just
Yeah,
those
yeah.
beats, and then some dude just raps over top. And
That's honestly the
Repost.
direction of current music, if we're being honest.
yeah,
But yeah. Okay.
I like Christmas music. Christmas music is jazz music, and I like jazz music. So,
yeah. And I think the
like
thing
that.
it's weird because Christmas music for me kind of goes back and forth where I think it's supposed to either be like very wholesome and very like pure the way that like childhood Christmas is in my head, or just like the holiday season in general. And then there's the other part of me which yearns for like the Christmas pop, um like something like Mistletoe or Santa Tell Me by Ariana Grande, I think are good examples of that, where they're not about really like they're just about stupid love songs, right? But they're dressed up in a Christmas way, and I think that's like it's more consumable for today's standards.
Oh yeah. Fair.
But the thing, like,
That's another interesting thing.
how long would that even
Yeah,
last
finish your
for,
thought,
right?
finish
Like,
your thought.
how long would people listen to that song or that kind of music? Like, is that just going to be a next 10 years thing? Is that going to be a, like, I don't think that's going to hold up like Mariah Carey's song, right? But like,
Yeah.
I do
I
think
see what you mean.
it'll top like the Michael Bublé album for a while for sure. But yeah, go ahead.
No, I was like, I can't remember the last time I listened to lyrics in a song, or like cared about lyrics in a song.
You
Like, actually
slowly
just
descend
thinking
into
of-
madness. Holy shit.
What do you mean? No, like I literally have like never once like looked at like I don't listen to lyrics at all. There are two things that matter, and it's like it's literally just beat and melody. I care about like and now bass line because I started listening to a lot of like jazz and funk, and that's like ooh, but like I literally like the only thing that matters is like the vocal pattern.
Mhm.
I don't care what they're saying. I just need to know what like I've never once listened to a song and been like I can't listen to this because I don't like the words or like what it's saying. Unless it's like actually no, I can't even think of anything. Like there's a lot of like amazing music. Like I don't know if you heard like Ariana Grande's new album, that like
Yeah.
absolute banger for me. Like that aren't just whole album of bangers. Literally just took all of quarantine by storm and said like whatever, let's make quarantine sexy. She has like it didn't even occur to me until like a long time afterwards. It's like one of her songs is called 34 plus 35.
Yeah. The 69.
Yeah. It's literally just a song, like just entirely about that. It didn't even occur to me. Like I didn't even like process that. I was just like, damn, this groove. It's an absolute vibe.
Wow.
Song grooves hard. And then like 2 or 3 weeks later, I was listening to it with my girlfriend. We were like, wait, this is absolutely just a giant sexual innuendo.
Huh.
Or like I think we listened to it for the first time fully through, and at the end, like when she like finishes the song and like the last 5 seconds when it's trailing out, there's literally like a quirky line where she's like that it's 69. It adds up to 69, like just like ad libbing talking over.
See,
But yeah, like I've lyrics are so
that's funny because like that's
secondary.
literally the opposite, right? Like I'm very much the kind of person that listens to some kind of music and like it sticks with me because of something they said. Like that's probably why I like rap, because you know they'll say something and I'm just like, oh, that slaps. And that's also why I'm really picky with my Christmas music, is because like I'm sick of hearing the same fucking shit all over again. Because like even when someone does like a rendition or a version of it, it's still the same to me because it's the same words, it's the same whatever, and no matter how they kind of dress up the arrangement, it's all meh. And I'm always looking for, okay, what kind of stuff am I going to listen to this holiday that's not going to make me want to throw my head into the wall?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
No.
But I mean, it's not just Christmas this season, right? Like there's other holidays that are going on.
That is true.
Yeah.
Holiday special.
So I'm trying to think here. What, like, how many people do you know that actually celebrate other things? Like I'm pretty sure Humumu celebrates Hanukkah, and I hope you had a wonderful Hanukkah. And that's essentially like, I guess like in layman's terms, right? It's just kind of like small Christmas that's split up over like 8 days, right? Like they just kind of do something special for 8 days in a row.
I know so little about other, like I know what do we got in here? We got the Millennial Holiday Festivus or whatever in there, thanks to Jerry Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
We got what else do we got in there? We got Kwanzaa. Merry Kwanzaa is a good one that me and my friends like to toss around, but nobody I know actually celebrates Kwanzaa, nor do I know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody who actually celebrates it, but we love to point at the Google Calendar and be like, hee, another holiday. I think, yeah. Humumu's one of like 2 friends I have that celebrate Hanukkah. Like half of the friends I know that are like that I'm like still in contact with, I guess.
All right.
But yeah.
So I've pulled up like the Wikipedia page for Hanukkah. So bless
Solid.
Wikipedia. So I know probably, I want to say 5 people that have celebrate or their families celebrate Hanukkah. And from what I've heard over the years is like, yeah, they'll have like a day that the family gets together. And in previous years, maybe it would be a couple, like a whole weekend. And, you know, they just kind of do things that are similar, because for them it's a holiday that is supposed to talk about, I think, faith and believing in God's guidance. And then of course they have their own music. They have special foods that honestly sound way better than turkey. And then, everyone knows about the dreidel and stuff. The thing is, though, is I heard, I don't actually know, so I'm gonna confirm this right now, but I heard that Kwanzaa is actually just like colonial Hanukkah, because like I heard that it's some like Jewish version or like African version of the Jewish holiday. Yeah. So like if you take a look, like it's got the same thing where I guess they've got 7 candles on a kinara, and there are 7 principles of Kwanzaa.
Wow, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, and so from what I understand, it's slightly redressed. Though the candles all are like different colors. There's 3 red, 3 green, 1 black in the middle, instead of all being one on a regular menorah. Interesting.
Yeah, traditions are cool. Other stuff is cool. Yeah, I don't think I've ever celebrated or been a part of anything other than just regular Christmas, though.
Yeah, I hear a couple of like my New Age hippie friends, say like, "Oh, happy solstice" and shit like that, which I think is the most funny, right? Because Christmas is technically just the dressed up version of the winter solstice and a couple other pagan holidays like Yule, right? Like, how much do you know about like where Christmas came from?
I don't know anything.
So this is this
thing.
is where like my endless deep dives into the YouTube and Reddit rabbit holes really do me well, because from what I understand, like Christmas is supposed to be like a Christian holiday, right? And at least like in terms of modern influence, that's where it comes from, because we're a predominantly Christian society in the West. And the thing is it wasn't always, because the winter solstice was celebrated a lot by like pagans, and Yule I think is like a Gaelic tradition. But the funny thing is like Christmas was just kind of slapped on, because it was like, you should convert to our super amazing religion because our savior was born on this holiday. So from what I understand, right, like when you consider like the biblical verses and when like the Romans did censuses, this was done in like the springtime, possibly summer. And so, initially like historical writings of Jesus' birth are very vague. But several biblical passages kind of place it in like a warmer season. And so because it was kind of vague, when the Roman Church adopted Catholicism, and in like nature of their like true Roman history, where they kind of misappropriate and like include everyone's religions and traditions together, they had a lot of problems with people that were like more Nordic celebrating Yule, or the people that just like to have fun with the pagan holidays, right? And just get like super loaded every winter solstice and stuff. And they said, okay, well,
let's go.
Yeah, what is the best way to keep everybody happy? And it's if we have the same holidays, but we dress them up to be Christian, right? So if our like Savior's birthday is kind of unknown, let's push that to be the same time as the solstice, which means everyone who loves doing those Christmassy holidays can do that here and have purpose, right? And then it just ensures that there's less fighting. And so that way, people would show up to church first and then get loaded or something like that.
Nice. The way God intended.
Yeah. Which I think is super intelligent, because unless you care to go out of your way to find out, you don't know, and you just assume, okay, Jesus was born right here. And I think there's a lot of things that the church has done over the years that are really intelligent moves. I'm not a big fan of a lot of them, because I think they're kind of scummy as an organization. But like super relevant, right? Like, why would you not, fudge the details just a little bit if you're gonna increase your following by like 50% or something like that, right?
Yeah, fair enough. Shit, the more you know.
Yeah. So Misha's saying that Orthodox Christmas is on January 7th, and there are some historians that say that like they could think that conceivably early February might be the earliest that like shepherds would have goats in their fields, and that's probably akin to having Jesus born. But of course, like no one was there. But yeah. So what do you think about modern day Christmas? Like
That's a loaded question.
just like let's talk about, let's say, Santa, because I think Santa is I don't know, probably
Santa?
like he's the epitome of
What's
like
the
modern
rating?
Christmas,
What's
right?
our rating? Are we a G-rated podcast or is this PG-13?
I mean, my channel is like adult. Like I don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Santa's not real. There you go. We did it.
I thought you were gonna say something like my favorite Santa is like in a skirt.
No, I was just gonna break the news to everyone. Gotta make sure you're PG-13 at least before you tell people Santa's not real. That's
yeah.
it.
But yeah, like Santa as an icon.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know if I have a very
spoiler
strong
warning.
opinion either way.
Santa's not real.
Oh yeah, sorry, spoiler alert. My bad. Sorry if you guys haven't been informed yet already. That's my bad. Santa did not come around this time and give everyone COVID.
Yeah.
But Santa, I don't know. I guess it's just fun. I guess is kind of the way that I view it. Like if you want to. I feel like there's certainly like, I don't know, like that's a parenting thing, and I don't think about parenting because that shit hurts my brain. And you'd fucking take another human and try to set them up for success. But like, I don't know what, like, because it just introduces the poor thing of like, I'm not a huge fan in principle of like lying to your kids, even if it's like in the spirit of fun.
Right.
I just don't think that's like a great, like, it's like that, like all those psychology studies that surround like you should speak to your child normally instead of using like baby talk with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
kind of like those things that show just like how children pick up. So like in that same like vein, basically if you just speak to children normally,
Right.
as opposed to like using baby talk, they'll basically pick up on language faster and just like start being able to communicate like normally, like quicker because they just pick up the normal speech. So like in a similar way, I kind of feel in that vein, I don't really love the whole premise of like lying to your kids about where presents come from, like being appreciative. I guess it's like, I don't know how you teach a 6-year-old the value of like hard work and that like Christmas is a time for giving and like sharing and everything. And like, yeah, it's like a whole big mess of stuff. But I honestly, I think like the original reason that like Santa exists is it just sells shit at malls. It's just a fucking commercialized thing where, yay, go sit on Santa's lap and ask him for a present and give us the couple 20s and take a cute photo. And that's like the biggest role that he plays now. I know there's like the actual original like legend of like Saint Nick. And like just the thing about like the guy who would go around and do nice things for the village and like
Right.
like basically help the people in need, and like that's really cool. And I think that kind of like, I don't know, not really benevolence, but just goodwill for Christmas is nice. I don't like the modern day personification of Santa though, but I kind of like what he represents.
Oh shit!
Somewhat.
I got a handstand redeemed. Okay, while I do a handstand.
Oh shit! Yeah,
That's the first time someone's redeemed something like that during the podcast. I want you, I want to go either one of two ways because first off, were you raised like in a household where like Santa, Easter Bunny, Tooth
I
Fairy,
have
stuff
no
like that?
idea. I think so, but not for very long. I feel like I was like 6 or 8 when that shit was like when like the.
You don't know?
I feel like that was.
Hold on. Tell me why you don't know. I'm curious.
What do you mean? Tell you why I don't know?
How do you not know?
I think I went to visit Santa once, but I have no idea if Santa was like did we just go because we just wanted the cute photo? Like, I can't remember. I feel like it might have just been for the photo. It might have been for just the experience, but I don't think like I definitely, there was one time I like talked to Santa and told him what I wanted for Christmas. I don't know if I ever actually believed that he was going to bring it for me though, or if my parents let me. Like from a very young age, I definitely was like aware that shit wasn't real.
Okay.
Also, I was Christian, so like the Easter Bunny is fucking
sacrilege.
Evil. That's a demon, bro. Yeah, exactly, bro. Easter Bunny is a demon.
Okay, fair. I guess you don't have siblings, so
Jesus died, bro. What the fuck you getting this weird ass bunny here for?
Yeah.
This man died and rose again. What the fuck? Get this stupid bunny shit out of here.
Fair. Yeah, so I think as our generation grows up, we're going to have a lot more of a like 50-50 split where there's, because I would say that a lot of parents, previously have been like, oh, let's perpetuate the Santa thing so our kids will be well. And now I think it's going to be like, yeah, I like the Christmas magic, but also I think my kid can not be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And not have to worry
Bro,
about
every
Santa.
4-year-old's going to have an iPhone or whatever and be like, hey, Siri, is Santa real? And Siri's going to be like, no, you stupid little shit. So honestly, we're kind of at that turning point now.
I mean, at that point, you're going to have the same kids that are plugging in the charger in and out going, ooh, daddy, do that again. Mom, why is daddy's phone weird? But yeah, so let's go back into the icon of Santa, because like clearly he's there to sell gifts, right?
Hell yeah.
So what I think is funny or interesting, and I say that a lot because I find everything interesting.
Everything is funny, yeah.
So like once again, I think the church likes to claim ownership of like Saint Nick being Santa Claus, where Saint Nicholas is the person who made toys. Yeah, I think he was a woodworker and he made toys for his town or village or whatever and went around spreading goodwill. But the current like personification of Santa Claus actually comes from several different incarnations, Saint Nick being the namesake. I want to say that there are several others where you have like the shamans of like Northern Europe who used to go around and spreading goodwill and vision and stuff on mushrooms, right? Like the red
Mushrooms.
yeah, like this is something I learned in like my world religions class in high school, but we talked about how like the imagery of Santa Claus and like the elves and stuff is very similar to the old shamans who would like give you a trip on like the red and white mushrooms, and right, the idea was it would bring you clarity, right? And that was his gift to you.
Of course.
So yeah, that kind of apparently
everything,
right, and that just kind of apparently evolved into his hat being red and white because I guess like that was like symbolic for the medicine that the medicine man was bringing you. And so you have, like essentially you have a very high saint that is magical and goes around giving you things. I think there's one other legend about like some Russian dude, but I can't remember that. But yeah, there's quite a lot, I would say, of like just where Christmas cultures come from. It like in essence, it's just like the cultural misappropriation machine, just shoving things in like, oh, I like that, I like that, I like that, which is kind of a commentary on like most things that we do these days, right? Like we just kind of like the nature of the holiday spirit, and like I talked about, Christmas is essentially just like recycled Thanksgiving but better. But yeah, like the message is good though, right? Like the nature of the holiday spirit, and what half of these movies other than Die Hard try to tell you is that, be a good person, and it's not all about the gifts or the culture that we have, but at the same time, the culture shoves itself down your throat. Right?
Yeah, it's
like,
a very good message, then kind of warped.
Yeah, like it's strange to me because we have movies released every year like The Grinch, right? Like some kind of rendition of gifts aren't everything. It's about spending time with the family, and we really buy into that message. And then we always go back in and just buy tons of presents.
Oh no, I don't have a present. Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this year I've seen a lot of people really panic because Amazon's not delivering all your presents on time, right? And so if you're someone who leaves a lot of your gifts last minute like I do, you definitely have some things that are still in the mail, and people panic about it. But like the whole point of like the holiday spirit is not about the gift giving. But it's like it's something we like to say, but not something we like to practice.
That is
except for you and your
Accurate, yeah.
friends, because you guys are living in the year 3020.
Or we're just zoomers. That's basically it. It's just yeah, literally. I don't think any of my friends give a shit about Christmas. They're like, bro, just don't buy me anything. I don't care if you really need to. Like, actually, like not even. It was literally like the extent of it was just like buy games for each other.
Yeah.
Something I was already gonna get anyway, and just pay for it for me. Thanks, and
Mhm.
I'll do the same for you. Great, and it feels kind of nice, I guess. But even then, it's like,
Really, we just
who
both
gives a
spent
shit,
50
bro?
bucks on each other's games.
Yeah, exactly. That we would have spent on our own anyway. So like, what the fuck is the point? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Um I do think that like gifts in general could be done better, because I think the idea is that most of the time people just decide, "Hey, let's give you like a certain thing, whether it's, like a game or like socks or whatever." When that's not always what's needed. Like I think some of the coolest ideas are when people appeal to like people's love languages. I don't know if you know what that is.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah, so like it's the idea that not everyone likes gifts or services in the same way, and they weigh them differently, right? Some people like
Mm-hmm.
words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving actual physical gifts, quality time, or physical touch. And so
Mm-hmm.
one of the coolest gifts are when people tailor that to someone. Like I've seen gifts where it's like, there's a bunch of acts of service, and then you can just redeem them at any time. Like
Yeah.
couples will give people the like I'll do the dishes, or like I'll take an extra turn with the chores or whatever. But I also saw some really cool stuff like memorabilia that people have used that to replace physical touch. Like I saw on social media, some one person had like I guess their family's father had like recently deceased, and that was very unfortunate. But the mother decided to take a whole bunch of like the dad's old clothes and kind of sewed them up into quilts and then attach them to blankets. So then like every night when they went to sleep, they would have like a hug from their father, and I thought that was super cool.
Aw, that's very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's very much in line with usually. That's how I do gift giving for most of my close friends anyway. Is like it's very much in line with stuff like that. I mean, hopefully my dad doesn't die every Christmas do that, but like, uh,
Jeez, yeah.
but like I will usually do memorabilia or like homemade gifts
Mm-hmm.
and things that are just like very, yeah, just like very memorable and just things that like mean something. That is
Mm-hmm.
very much in line. It's funny you bring up love languages, like I know all of that shit. You can quiz me on like I know like all of the different like personality tests and all of the EQ tests, like EI and all
Mm-hmm.
that good fun stuff. Yeah, I love that shit. I eat it up.
Yeah, I think anytime you're just gonna try and be considerate for like another human being, it's important to consider who they are, right? So knowing, what they're interested in, what they appreciate, their personality type, that should go into what you buy as a present or what you do for like some kind of active service for them. Because at the end of the day, the gift is for them, not you. And I think a lot of people forget that. Where I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm gonna get you this thing that I'm really into. Hopefully, you'll be into it too." And in the cases where that works out, that's great. But a lot of the time, it's just like, I bought that present for me, but I pretended it was for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's yeah.
savage. But yeah, one of the last topics I want to talk about is how you're going to spend this holiday, because, like I said, better Thanksgiving offers you more time off, and with Daddy Dog giving us the lockdown again, what are you guys gonna do with all of this time? Right, this is like supposed to be the season where we spend it with our loved ones, and for a lot of us, that's not something we can do. So, what do you plan to do with your holiday time?
I hope you got a good answer for this because I'm doing the absolute same fucking thing I've been doing for the last 9 months. Literally nothing changes. Absolutely nothing has changed for me. I guess I don't have to get up at 9 a.m. every day, which is nice. So instead, I get up at like 2 p.m. That's probably the biggest change.
Mm-hmm.
I finished my co op term, so I don't have work.
Right.
But to be honest with you, I just woke up for work, and I, instead of working in the mornings, I now just sleep in the mornings, and then my afternoons and evenings are identical to what they've been. Absolutely nothing has changed for
Damn.
me.
No, that's fair. If you're looking for better things to do during quarantine, I'm gonna plug my YouTube channel because I just released a video about that. Um,
Hell yeah.
but besides that, I was I was thinking that like now is the better excuse for you to spend more time doing virtual things with people because like the holiday spirit is to spend time with the loved ones, and if you can't do that physically, I think this is the perfect time to like literally schedule like board games nights or like just reach out to people because it was funny to me earlier when you were talking about how you don't really pick up your phone at all. Like you wake up and your alarm went off because of your phone and you check it, and then that's the only time you touch your phone. I'm always on my phone right now because I am trying to reach out to people more, or people reach out to me more, and like that wasn't really something I was able to do too much of before. But now with the extra free time, it's like yeah, I can have a conversation. Like I'm not at work, I'm not doing whatever.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. So be
Yeah.
social.
I guess it's just been Discord. I guess why like all of my like anyone that I need to talk to or anyone that I do talk to now, it's just through Discord. Like I have made a lot of like new friends. Like I think there's like I was very fortunate where it's like through friends I or like I have like 3 or 4 of my close friends that basically introduce their extended circles.
Mm-hmm.
And so like through that now I have like 3 or 4 different Discord servers that I'm like hopping between on different nights for either like board games or Valorant or other different games and like co-op games and all kinds of stuff. So it's been like that's kind of like I guess the silver lining for me
Yeah.
in terms of quarantine stuff. Like we probably just wouldn't have ever have talked had there not been like a reason for everybody to be on Discord and in a virtual escape.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess it's not so much avoiding my phone for like I guess you can count Discord as social media, but I've just done a lot less like passive consumption, like Instagram and stuff like that, or even
Right.
just like memes. I don't even browse memes anymore. Is like
Wow.
the crazy thing. Like yeah, literally, like I won't idly scroll. Like it's just weird. I guess like it's much more fixed. Like when I want to hang out or if I want social interaction, I just scroll through like the Discord servers and see if there's like anybody online. Like we
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of my friends have just basically started things like that where we'll have just open um, when I was working, that one was really nice because all of us were working from home, and a bunch of my friends are like artists and other creative works, at least in that friend group. And they did like they would just drop in, like whenever they were working on things, they would just
Mm-hmm.
have like a room, and whoever was working that day, we would just drop in, would chat, bitch about work, bitch about
Oh, that's cool.
shitty creative directors. But it
Kind of
was
like
just like,
study groups, but virtually.
yeah, it was just like, yeah, and even that, we still have like a bunch of my uni friends. We have virtual study-ish groups or like places where because a bunch of my friends are all CS kids as well, right? So we'll like
Right.
go in there and talk about whatever CS nerd programming shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the closest to browsing memes now is literally just like whenever I'm eating, I'll open up YouTube and but even then, all my recommendeds and stuff are like pretty like either
Tailored.
related to games that I'm playing right now
Mm-hmm.
or all tech news. I've been
Fair.
really on top of like tech news basically for like well specifically for like computers. But
Mm. Fair. Yeah.
yeah,
You've been really talking about computer stuff a lot lately, I suppose.
do enjoy computers. Good
Yeah.
time to have a computer too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, friends. That's about it. Thanks for hanging out with us. We kind of figured that like everyone's just kind of chilling, doing whatever. So we thought like for the Christmas special, we would just chill and chat, talk about Christmas. Next week we're gonna have probably a real banger for you for the new year. So stay tuned for
Real
that.
banger. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
shit. Next week it's gonna be the new. Bro, it's December 28th. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We'll talk about how the time flew and just like
We'll talk about it.
we'll hopefully have you building a
2020
new
is over. Let's go.
yeah, we'll have you building a new toolkit to survive 2021 a little bit better, and we may or may not have a special guest on. So be ready for that. Thanks for hanging out with us as always. We really appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys
Yes,
soon.
we do. Happy New Year. I think that's when this will come
Yeah.
out.
Merry holidays.
Yep, that's right.